Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over the new lineup from Turtle Beach and all my thoughts and opinions around both their headphone, mice, and their new Hall Effect gaming keyboard. So let's get started. So first I wanted to say that Turtle Beach did send these products out to me for review. That doesn't in any way, shape, or form affect my opinion of the products, and as you know, I'll be honest and open about all my thoughts and opinions when it comes to everything. So first we're going to go over the Turtle Beach Burst 2 Air. I've been using this mouse for just under a month, around 3 weeks, and I do got a couple things to say about it. It's not my all-time favorite mouse, but I have come to really appreciate it and its uniqueness, I guess. It's not a super good mouse, but it's not a super bad mouse either. It's like straight in the middle. So we're gonna start with the unboxing the mouse here. In the box, you do get the mouse itself. You can lift up this tab here, which exposes the box carrying all of the accessories. It comes with the dongle extender that is currently sitting in my bedroom. Inside the accessory package, you do get a couple of goodies. You get full-size skates, a couple of grips that aren't really the best. I wouldn't recommend using these. A traditional standard braided paracord that you can use for charging your mouse, and then a quick start guide that lets you know the basic information for this mouse. When it comes to the mouse shape, it's not something that I'm super particularly a fan of. It uses a traditional back hump design, but it's not as back hump as like the X2 or the Atlantis. As you see, it tilts down a lot to the front, so it has low button height and it has a nice hump towards the back. The front of the mouse is a little bit pinched into the front like an OP18K. If you look at the top of the mouse, you can't really see it from this POV, but it's rounded a lot. The mouse is really round. It's kind of like you're holding a cylinder with a back flare. The actual shape of the mouse is very reminiscent of something like the XM2, the Atlantis Mini, the X2H, just similar mice like that. It's very, very narrow towards the front and flared out towards the back, which makes this really ideal for a claw grip. But for me, claw grip isn't my preferred style of grip, and I'm really not a big fan of it. Going over the specs, it does support 1K Hertz wireless. They aren't doing 4K, I'm not really too sure why. It does have a Bluetooth mode, so you're able to use it with any computer, any phone that supports Bluetooth. And it's 47 grams with optical switches in it, so they have a really nice hollow feeling, similar to the XM2 WE, where it kind of felt like he was pretty much clicking into a void. They have a very hollow sound to it. It does come with 2 side buttons here, and then a third macro button you can program in their Swarm 2 software. And then it also has the middle mouse click, you know, just basic mouse functions. Now we're going to be comparing it to 2 of my favorite mice that I actually use all the time. We're going to go against the Atlantis Mini. As you see, the Atlantis Mini is a little bit shorter, but like I said, that rear flare is very, very, very similar, where the Burst 2 is a little bit more narrow than the Atlantis Mini, but the Atlantis Mini does have a really nice flare. It is a little bit flatter on the top compared to the Burst 2, which is a lot more round. And then as you see, that hump profile, the Burst 2 is a little bit flatter than the Atlantis Mini, but they're relatively similar. The only difference is that the Burst 2 is longer altogether. Next here we have the X2H Super Clear. This has been one of my all-time favorite mice. I've been using it for like a week straight outside the Super Light and the B-Stacks and Helios 2, which are all just phenomenal mice. The hump on the X2H is a lot more pronounced, way taller, but when it comes to the bottom flare of the mouse, you see they're relatively similar. The X2H does flare out a little bit more naturally than the Burst 2, where it kind of pinches around here, and then the flare is really aggressive compared to the X2H, where there's a natural progression of hump, which is what makes the Burst 2 Air a lot less comfortable for me to use. It feels like an arrow, if that may make sense, like it's designed like an arrow. But overall, this is a really good mouse for people who are looking for something on a more claw grip focused base, and you're able to pick one of these up. I believe the new Turtle Beach mice should be able to be sold in Best Buys and Walmarts, as Turtle Beach is a very well-known brand. And the Burst 2 is a mouse that I feel like once you can get your hands on in stores, it's going to be a really easy recommend, because not every mouse is available in stores like the Pulsar X2H Super Clear or the Champions Edition Atlantis Mini. Next, we're going to go on to the Turtle Beach Vulkan Pro TKL. This is their first Hall Effect keyboard. Rockhat was acquired by Turtle Beach, so that means all their previous lineup, like the Burst, the Vulkan, and I believe they have a couple other of their products on their store, are going to be all Turtle Beach products now. We're gonna go ahead and unbox this keyboard here. There's just a simple pull tab at the bottom, and then it flips out like a normal keyboard case. My F10 key did end up breaking off, but we'll get there when we get there. On the top, you do get the actual keyboard itself. Then this piece just pulls right up to expose the keyboard cable and a foam wrist rest. So for $150, you get So for $150, you do get a pretty complete package. You do get a full TKL size keyboard, a foam wrist rest, which I haven't used, this is still sealed in the package, and a decent braided cord. Not as good as my custom coiled cable from Cable Mod, but it is a relatively good option, and I'm glad it actually comes with the board. Most keyboards should come with keyboard cables. Going on to its performance, the one thing that I couldn't get used to when it came to the Vulkan TKL Pro was its keycap choice. So they marketed this as a low profile keyboard, but it's not. It uses full-size Gatoron mechanical switches, which isn't a bad thing at all. That has a pretty nice sound to it for a mechanical switch, but then they put low profile keycaps on top, which, if you can't tell, the issue with the low profile keycap design is that they're very susceptible to breaking, especially with the way that they're put onto the keyboard. So I was doing a photo shoot for this keyboard. I never actually ended up taking the pictures, but I was doing a photo shoot, and my fishing line that I use to hang keyboards to make floating mouse pictures and floating keyboard pictures snapped, broke the F8 key off, and it was just enough for me to put this keyboard back on the shelf and not use it at all. The Hall effect performance is okay. It's similar to keyboards like the Drunk Deer and the Polo 65. There's nothing super spectacular about it. It's just a bare bones basic Hall effect board you can pick up in store. That's its only real selling point, is that you can buy this keyboard in store like all other Turtle Beach products. But as a recommendation, it's really hard to recommend, especially at $150. Because the Drunk Deer G60 exists, because the Polo 65 exists, because all these keyboards exist, even the Wooting CK75, HM66, all the Rocka boards. There's so many Hall effect keyboards on the market that if you're looking for true performance, this won't perform better than anything that's worse than a Wooting. If you're looking at the Polo 65, if you're looking at the ATK 75, the ATK 65, the Drunk Deer G60, A75, G75, G65, if you're looking at all of those, this will perform on par with all of those, which are all worse than a Wooting. And the 60HE is worse than the Rocka and Himu PCBs like the CK75, the HM66. So would I recommend the Vulkan TKL Pro? Only if you really want a full matching setup from one brand. But if you're looking for a performance-based keyboard, this isn't the easiest recommendation unless you have one in stock in a local store. You can just go pick it up and grab it. It's a really good keyboard, but I would definitely swap out the keycaps. The keycaps suck. Like I said, it broke off the F8 key, and it just wasn't really, yeah, no, it's not. That's not good. Change the keycaps if you're gonna grab the Turtle Beach Vulkan Pro. And finally, we have the most expensive item that Turtle Beach did send me. This is the Atlas Airs. These are $180 retail open-backed wireless gaming headphones, and I enjoy them. I like them a lot. So the box is very simple. You actually don't get much with. You get a basic pull tab at the back, you get the headphones, you get the dongle that comes there, and I believe there was a manual and a couple of accessories. I completely forgot because I've been using these headphones for such a long time. They've been like my main gaming headphones. As you see, they are made with a mesh front, and they have an open back design with a volume knob on the side. The microphone is not retractable. It lifts up and down, which can be an issue for some people because I don't like having a microphone. I don't use the microphone. I use my SM7B or my Synco Mic D1 for all my gaming needs. And this just wasn't really like a microphone that I ended up using a lot. The shape of the headphones is really comfortable. They're very flexible because they're put together with a bunch of elastic strings and bands. And even with really rugged use and very aggressive uses, I never found them being too loose or breaking in any way. Like, that's insane. You shouldn't be able to do this with headphones. The mic quality on it is relatively decent. Here's a sample.
All right, here's a test audio with the Atlas Air microphone. This is roughly around 1 inch away from my face. We're talking at a relatively normal inside volume. And if I were to get a little bit louder as if I were talking into a video, this is how the audio would sound. And if I were to whisper, this is how the audio would sound.
The wireless gaming performance is really good. The only issue that these suffer with is that they're very quiet. So I did find myself wanting to turn up audio all the time. I use the Bluetooth with my phone. These paired with Bluetooth or the 2.4 gigahertz dongle. The 2.4 gigahertz dongle can get from the back of my house to the front of my house. I live in a 900 square feet house. So being able to go from the back to the front and across the street, it was a very long distance. And it was kind of insane. I wasn't ready for a headset that I could go on the outside of my house, across the street, into a driveway before they started stuttering. All right, talking into my camera now. I have the headphones on my head. We're gonna walk all the way to where they stop the connection, which is pretty far. As you see, my hallway's all the way back there. We're gonna keep walking. I'm gonna open my door and keep walking. We are outside the front of my house. We are
still walking, and roughly around here, which is across the street from my house, is where the audio starts to cut out, and then it's really choppy going back in. But it's crazy how effective or how long the range is on these headphones.
The Bluetooth connectivity is nowhere near as good as the 2.4 gigahertz connection, but the latency on Bluetooth is very low. When I try gaming with my AirPods or my AKG N700 M2s, the latency is enough for me to just not use them, go back to wired headphones, like the Super Mix 4s that I've been testing for the last couple days. And with this, there's no delay. Like I click a button on my mouse, the action happens, I hear the action, it's great. Especially when you're comparing it to something like IEMs or like over-ear headphones, like my Sennheiser 280 HD Pros, which I've been using for music production for like 10 years. These are definitely better sound quality than those, but they aren't the best. And if you're looking for very high quality audio, these aren't gonna do that, but you're looking for a very high-end open back wireless headphone, they're fantastic. The open back is great. I have nothing but good things to say about these headphones. I really enjoy them, and it's really hard for me to complain when the product itself is just good. If you have these headphones, let me know what you think of them in the comments. There is 2 gripes I have with the headphones. When connected to Bluetooth, for some reason, after a certain set of time, they just disconnect when no audio is playing. It's very, very, very annoying because it's like 2 minutes. So it's either I always have audio playing or they're not on my head. There's no in between. I'm not sure there's a fix for that. I looked online, I couldn't find anything. And the volume dial is way too sensitive. If you look here, I'm putting absolutely no pressure and I'm spinning it a lot. And I have a lot of neck tics, as you've probably seen throughout this video. When I move my neck and it's not voluntary, I always accidentally hit it, and I always end up turning my audio down or turning it up past where I'm used to it having. And it's very annoying. But other than those 2 things, when I'm using them on my PC, I have no issues with them. As Bluetooth headphones, I would rather use like the Sony XM4s or my AKG N700s, which are both, you can get XM4s used for around $130 and the N700s for around $220. And they're both fantastic headphones that beat this in sound performance, but in gaming performance, these are just unmatched, in my opinion, compared to all the headphones I've tried. Like the Arctis 9 wireless, like the G Pro X wireless, like the Razer Nari, Razer Kraken, Razer Blackstrike V2s, HyperX Cloud 2s. These are just the best for wireless gaming performance. If you want the best gaming headphone sound, you can get the HyperX Cloud 2s. Those are phenomenal for sound. Well, hope you guys did enjoy this video. Can I recommend the Turtle Beach products? I can definitely recommend the mouse and the headphones. The keyboard isn't something I can easily recommend to anybody, but if you're looking for something in store with Hall effect capabilities, this is the keyboard to get outside the Apex Pro TKL and the new Razer Huntsman that just came out with their Rap Snap or their Snap Tap, whatever it's called. This is a really solid option you can get for around $150. The headphones are $180 and the mouse is $99. They're all reasonably priced within their competitive market, but when you look outside their market, which is the mainstream consumer and not the enthusiast, you can get better for the price. Like you can get a Pulsar X2 for $100. You can get the Moondrop Sennheiser collabs. Those are fantastic. You can get a Wooting CK65, HM66. You can get a lot of keyboards that outperform this, outperform these, and outperform this. But if you're looking for a full set of products that's really good from one brand, this entire bundle is really good, and I have no complaints with it outside the keyboard just not being a Wooting. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more. Leave a comment what you think about any of these products, and I'll see you guys in the next one.